Hello, happy National Beer Day to everyone watching. I'm here broadcasting from the Fizzics headquarters in New Jersey, and we're about to taste some great beers on this great day. We're going to put them through the Fizzics systems. We have the Way Taps to my right. These are portable draft beer systems. They work with 12-ounce cans up to 25-ounce cans and 12-ounce bottles. And then to my other side, we have the original Fizzics draft beer system. This will accommodate any size can or bottle up to a full 64-ounce growler. So let's get started with our first beer, which is from Kane. It is called Cove at Ragland, which is an area in New Zealand, actually, and it's quite appropriate for this beer. It is an IPA brewed with Golden Promise barley, malted barley, oats, and then exclusively New Zealand hops. Specifically, I believe it's Matuka, Rawaka, and Wakatu. Some nice, interesting names there. And they give some good tropical, fruity, and lime, zesty notes. So I'm excited to try this one out. This is from a brewery pretty local to here. It's really close by, actually. And they're putting out some awesome beers. So let's do a pour first, just a hand pour, and then we can compare what happens with the different foams that you get through the Fizzics draft beer system and just with a hand pour. Alright, so load it up. Just want to hold your glass at a 45-degree angle here. Underneath the tap and push forward. It's going to dispense at a controlled flow rate under pressure, so as not to agitate too much of the CO2 out of the solution. We don't want to the body of the beer. When you're ready to top it off with foam, you push backwards, and it uses sonic wave technology to give you that ideal density head of foam on the beer. And I'll show you a little side by side here. You can see quite a difference in the foam, not just the amounts, but also the quality. The bubbles produced by the Way Tap are really tiny and of a uniform size, so you're going to get longer head retention. Those bubbles aren't going to collapse on each other as easily. And head retention is important because it's going to protect that gas from escaping all the way down as you drink. Wow, that smells amazing. It's got some nice body to it from the oats, but their dominant flavors, just like with the aroma, is coming from those tropical New Zealand hops. Get a little bit of mango and lime. Perfect amount of bitterness. Really, really drinkable beer. I think it's 6.8 alcohol by volume. You can see the nice lacing this foam leaves on the glass. Makes for a really smooth and pleasant taste and mouthfeel. That's usually the first thing that people realize when they have their first sip of a Fizzics pour is, wow, that's really smooth. And that all has to do with the foam. Everyone will tell you they prefer draft beer to canned or bottled beers, but they might not be able to really elaborate on why that is. With the Fizzics technology, leveraging the sound waves and this micro foam, it really gives you the full experience. Just from the visuals, we have a beer with no head here, to a beer that is going to retain a nice head retention, release more of those aromas because we're shrinking down the bubbles, increasing the surface area. Eric says, how much? I want one. Eric, they are $129.99 retail, and you can find these on our website, Fizzics.com. You can find them on Amazon, Best Buy, Target, Brookstone, and next month they'll be in all Bed Bath & Beyonds. So really nice head of foam on there. You can put as much or as little on as you want. It does wonders for the aroma, and again, when you have that enhanced aroma, it also enhances the flavor because they're so intertwined. About 80% of what you taste has to do with what you're smelling. So aroma is big, super important, and if you go and look up, it's written everywhere about how the foam is what traps all those aromas. and when you have increased bubble size or surface area, it's going to release more of those aromas, and you're going to smell them more. So, awesome beer. I think we'll move on to the next one now. Which is a collaboration brew. And for this one, so it's Other Half Brewing Company, collaboration with 3 Stars Brewing Company. So Other Half is based in Brooklyn, New York. It's an awesome brewery. They put out some really cool can art, and this is some of their bottled specialty beers. This one has some Brettanomyces wild yeast strain. It was aged in a foeder. So it's, I think, some of their sour and really specialty beers they bottle, but they also have some great 16-ounce can formats that you should definitely check out. They have a big following. And then this collaboration is with a brewery in Washington, D.C. called 3 Stars, and they also have quite a following. They've gotten, I think 2 years running now, have gotten Best Local Brewery. Cheers, Paul. We miss you too. Feel better. He says he wished he was drinking beers with us today. So Paul's not with us. He woke up. He barely speaks with a cold, and I'm sure he could definitely use a beer, but he'll be back and better for next week's Big Beer Friday. So look out for that one. We were gonna do the Hunapoo Stout today, but I didn't want to drink that one without Paul, so we're gonna save that for next week. Just do 3 beers today. We are ending with quite a big beer though, so no need to do 2 huge stouts. But we got some special beers. It is National Beer Day, and so let's see. What else do I need to tell you about this beer before we crack it open? So 3 Stars, great local brewery. They're going to be in D.C. for Craft Brewers Conference. There'll be a local brewery there. I think they have like 3 or 4 collaboration brews that they did for CBC, so I'm interested to check that out. I'll be there all next week. If anybody watching wants to meet up, reach out to us. I'd love to come talk, have a beer with you. So for this one, we're going to put it in the original Fizzics draft beer system. This has the flexibility to do all your different bottle shapes and sizes, because you can see there's quite a few out there, including all your growlers and crowlers and really anything you can think of. And this one's top loading, and you're just going to stick it in. Insert your draft tube into the opening of the bottle. We're going to switch up glassware for this one. I like to do some sort of a stemmed tulip for Belgians and Saisons like this one is. So this is they have 2 versions of this beer. A table version, which is a Saison is a style that it has quite a lot of variability. There can be really the table version, a stronger version, and like a super strong version. They can be lighter in color, they can be darker in color. They can have wheat, they can have oats, and this one has millet and buckwheat. The name's really cool. It's called I'll pronounce it Meek Malay, because it's actually the second collaboration they did with 3 Stars, and the first one was called Ricky Rose, so the hip-hop fans out there will get the references. And that one was American Wild Ale. It was with blackberry. This one's got millet, which is a seed, gluten-free seed, and buckwheat is also gluten-free, despite having wheat in the name. It's not actually wheat. It is also a small seed from a grass, a cereal grain, if you will. It's Saisons. The history there is, I'll pour a beer first. So the history with Saisons is they were brewed historically in Wallonia, the French-speaking area of Belgium, for the farm hands during the farming seasons, and they were traditionally lower in alcohol content than they are today. It gives you a beautiful head. Wow, I can smell that from here. Nice fluffy white head, a good little hazy beer there. I would imagine that's from the different grains used and the fact that it's probably unfiltered and smells amazing. You do get some of that subtle funk and complexity that you would get from a Brett. They would brew it for a lower version, or weaker version for the farmers, and it was used with whatever grains were on hand that were kind of being harvested or had already been harvested. So it's really a flexible style. I'd call it almost like a family of, there's a bunch of different variations. So it's a really fun style for brewers to brew because you can get really creative with it, and like they definitely did with this one here. So I haven't had this one. I'm excited to give it a try. That is refreshing. Nice and effervescent. It's got a dry finish. It is very drinkable. I think it's a 6% ABV beer. It's got some cherry pie and earthiness flavors coming from the Brett, and then some grainy cereal notes from the variety of different grains that they used in it. There is a nice perceived bitterness there. Beautiful lacing and rings around the glass. Look at that foam. That is beautiful. So that's a good sign of a clean glass there when you get those rings after each couple gulps. It's a nice, long-lasting, fluffy head of foam here that we're getting from the Fizzics system. That's really good. You could drink that all day. Wow. Yeah, so really excellent beer. They also had another variation of this. So I mentioned this was the table version. They also did a version that was aged with 12 different strains of Brett. 12 different strains of Brett. So this one was used with a rustic Saison yeast and a single strain of Brett. The other one was aged in special barrels that have 12 different types of Brett. So I'll have to try that next because I really like this one. So Wilson asks, all machines can use all type of bottles? The answer to that one is the machine that I'm currently using can work with all bottles and even growlers and crowlers or whatever. The ones over here, the weight taps, these are the newer models. You can see it's a redesigned, some metal parts and finishes, easy one-handed operation. You got a stainless steel draft tube that you just guide in. These work with, so we have a 16-ounce cannon. It'll work with up to a 25-ounce can. Bottles are going to be 12-ounce long necks, so you won't be able to put these, larger bottles. So this isn't a bomber. This is a pint and 6 ounces, so it's like 21 something. So if you want the flexibility of bottle size, if you find that you get a lot of bigger beers, specialty beers, cork and cage bottles, this might be the more flexible option for you. Oops. Yeah, I don't think you saw when I was zoomed in there, but so this is easy one-handed operation. You just pop it in. It's a 16-ounce can there. All right. So to show you an example of cleaning, so that's a common question, and also it's good for everyone to know because this is, beer is a food grade product, so you want to make sure that you rinse it when you're all finished. Not really necessary to do between each beer, but I'm going to do it here because we're going to go from a Brett beer to a big Imperial Stout. And so what you do is just take a glass of warm water, stick it inside, and then just dispense it right through. So if you think about beer as a food product, the example would be like if you ate off a plate and it's a dirty plate, you want to make sure you rinse that off or use it again. Same deal. If you run a beer through here and then just leave it inside, that's where you're going to ask for, there's plenty of bugs that want to get after it. Bacteria, molds, yeasts. Just give it a rinse through. And then with your wave taps, you can even let them just set to the side. There's a divot in the side so it gets nice airflow to dry. and that'll just keep them clean. It's really simple. You just have to remember to do it. So, we're going to end with a big beer. Now, this beer has a pretty cool story behind it. It is called Black Friday, and that's because it's released once a year from Lakefront Brewery in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on Black Friday, and it gets quite an event going for it. In fact, our brand ambassador, Andy Kamoski, up in Milwaukee, he actually hooked us up with this beer, as he's done many times. Check out his podcast, the Tap Takeover podcast, him and 3 other of his buddies. Really great show. We've shared some links on the Fizzics Facebook page. And also check out the Brewer Spotlight video that we shot at Lakefront Brewery. So Wilson says, any expectations to sell in Brazil? We would love to, of course. Right now, we can sell online. So you can purchase online and we'll ship anywhere in the world, but we don't currently have any distributors in South America, but we're working on it. And we hope to eventually be able to give all beer lovers a chance to put their beers on Fizzics. And eventually we will. So anyway, Andy, he goes to a lot of beer releases, and this is a really awesome beer release. It's Black Friday. Everybody wakes up early to go shopping. Well, the beer lovers wake up early, and Wisconsin, they love their beer, and they go and they wait in line and for their beer. I think it was snowing on the day. You'll get there several hours ahead of time, but it's fun because everybody brings really rare and cellarable beers, big imperial stouts. They're hanging out in line. They're doing bottle shares. They're making friends. I think the people who work at Lakefront even come out and give some special beers to those waiting in line. And it's the only one day of the year you can get it, and it's until they sell out. And that's the reason why this is such a line, because it does sell out every year in a matter of. Thank you, Andy. Cheers for pouring this one out for you. And I got a chance to try this beer once with Andy when I visited him at Lakefront. And awesome brewery. They make some great styles. This is a good one that we should do a side-by-side pour with, actually. Before I pour it on Fizzics, let's give it just a normal hand pour. So this is other than having this beer on draft, the best alternative is just to do a proper pour. You hold it at a 45-degree angle, you pour it on the side, and then down the middle with vigor to agitate and create some foam. So keep an eye on that. It's probably going to fizzle out pretty quick. This beer is 11.4% ABV. It's bourbon barrel aged for quite some time, I think. They probably do it for the better part of a year. So this is the 2016 version. So it's got a few months on it. And these beers they cellar very well. See, we're already out of foam here. And then we'll see what the comparison is like with Fizzics. And especially for a beer like this, I mean, any beer, you're going to want a beautiful head of foam. You can see I'm really not developing any foam right here during the actual pour. So we are keeping that body in check. Grabbed a snifter for this one. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? That off-white head of foam, that dark tan head of foam. Really tiny bubbles. And let me just put this down here for zoom in on the front. We still got the Saison foam over here, doing great. And just look at that difference, it's night and day. Which beer would you go for? I personally would grab for the one with a nice dark tan head of foam. Brewers work hard to be able to get that beautiful head, and if they could have it last on the whole way, they definitely would. I can tell you for a fact that choice of ingredients, brewing process, tons of techniques are utilized to try to get good foam stability because of all the benefits I mentioned earlier in this video. And, it's night and day right here. And that's going to give it a huge mouthfeel advantage, as well as, oh my God, completely different aroma. I'm getting right off this is super intense. It's vanilla, caramel, There's like some molasses and burnt sugar and roastiness. It smells amazing. I could just smell this one. Wow, that's good. That's an amazing beer. Cheers, Andy. Thank you very much for hooking it up. Yeah, the taste is huge. It's mellow, despite being 11.4%, and that's achieved by the extensive barrel aging. That's also where you're going to pick up those vanilla notes. There's no vanilla bean added in this beer. There's no chocolate added, no coffee, but you get all those flavors. It's from a combination of the specialty malts. So there's caramel malts, there's roasted. I don't know if they use chocolate malts, but that's an option, and you definitely get some big chocolate. And there's like baker's chocolate, like burnt sugars, molasses. It's really good. And one of my favorite parts about Fizzics is the ability to go in like this and just top yourself back off with some foam. Get that nice cascading effect. Looks great with a nice dark beer. Has benefits for all styles of beer. And it does wonders. Look at the lacing on the glass there. You could pair this with a nice dark chocolate truffle, some flourless chocolate torte. You could add some fruit to a chocolate cake. It could just stand up on its own, be delicious. This is a beer that you want to sip. So the higher the ABV, the smaller the glass you're going to want to choose. So, you know, the earlier beers, we have a full pint. And then also with the snifter, they're traditionally used for like brandies and cognacs. What it does with the taper is it concentrates and kind of keeps those aromas tighter. So you can kind of swirl, sniff. It also allows you to cover your hand fully on it if you wanted to warm it up as you drink slowly. And when you warm it up, that also is another way to release more of those aromas. So this is a really awesome beer. Cheers, Tom. Happy National Beer Day. I hope if you're not having a beer right now as you watch, I hope that it inspires you to go home and crack open that beer you've been saving, or go stop somewhere, visit your local brewery, pick up a growler, pick up a special bottle, go to your grocery store, get a mixed six-pack and experiment. There's no better way to do that than with your own portable draft beer system. This is all the benefits and more of having your own beer on draft. No need for a kegerator. These are single serve. Each can or bottle is your keg. There's no gas lines to hook up. There's no, beer. There's no compressed gas tanks. You don't have to replace anything other. These are battery operated, super lightweight. So you can just, move these things around. We have carrying cases. Take them on the go with you. Take them to a tailgate, camping trip, barbecue, bring it on a boat. Do whatever you want. You don't get that with a kegerator. Kegerators are hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You got to keep them wherever they stay. You have to commit to a whole keg of one beer style, which in today's advanced beer market in the U.S. with over 5,300 breweries and counting, you want to be able to try as many beers as you can, at least I do, and really explore to see what are your favorite styles, what else is out there. You can't try every beer, even if you tried. I know some people who do. Cheers to you guys. And if you have some awesome beers in your market that isn't available elsewhere, I'm sure we've got some over here as well. So if you want to do some trades, we could feature the beers on Big Beer Friday, send you a nice little care package in return. Definitely reach out to us. Reach out to us on Facebook or shoot us an email. You can find all the information about the company on our website, Fizzics.com. You can also purchase Waytaps and Fizzics systems and all the accessories. You get these perfect pour glasses. You can find it all there. And check out our YouTube page, because in addition to these streaming videos, we also have a host of other videos where we go to breweries and we interview the brewers and we talk about, you know, their style of craft beer, what's upcoming, what are their favorite styles to drink, what are their favorite styles to brew, some history on their brewery. We get Fizzics in front of them. We get their first impressions, raw and unedited, and we put it out there. We put together nice little 5-6 minute videos. There's more than a dozen up on our YouTube page now, so check that out. Just search Fizzics on YouTube, and plenty of great content out there, and more coming. We'd love to get feedback. What do you want to see? Which breweries should we visit? Do you know somebody at a brewery? Are you a brewer? We'd love to connect and reach out. That's what I do, and that's what I love. So cheers, National Beer Day. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next week. We've got a special episode with our newest brand ambassador to be, Tom. Shout out to Tom. He's a big Fizzics fan, and we love him. And he's a home brewer. He's a professional brewer, and he's got an enormous cellar, and we're going to go shoot it from his backyard with his buddy, Maddie. Cheers, Maddie. He's also a huge Fizzics fan. And we're going to taste some awesome beers that are to be announced next week, but I'll tell you, they're going to be good. So thank you, everybody. Happy National Beer Day. Go have a cold one tonight. Cheers.